morning, everybody. I'm Rory Francis, and welcome to Panel in the Pit. I have to tell you, I've done panels in many places, and I've never done one in a pit, so I'm really excited to be here today. We're trackside at the Miami E-Prix at Homestead Speedway, and we're excited to see the action unfold over the weekend. And I'm going to ask my guests, and I have industry leaders here, and I'm going to ask them to introduce themselves real quick.
Hey, Rory, I'm Jonas Allen, Vice President of Marketing at SAM Technologies.
Sylvain Philippi, Managing Director of this wonderful team, Envision Racing.
Okay, well, welcome. I'm really glad to be here and find out all about this car and have a good discussion with you. So, I love this question. As the forefront of electrical racing, Formula E, how does it act as a test bed for sustainability?
If you go back to the first principle of Formula E, we are trying to do two things here. We are trying to first accelerate the innovation around electric vehicles. And of course, secondly, we are trying to make a lot of noise about it. We are trying to use the sport, which is a very proven method of using it as a media platform to obviously reach a lot of people and make electric cars exciting. So to your question on the first pillar, on the technology side, we've identified more than 10 years ago when we started this venture that really electric mobility is for sure, we know, a good solution to fight climate change, right? Like road transport is around 30% of global emissions. And actually electrifying road transport is one of the easiest things we can do. It's an awful lot easier than, long haul travel and other things. So we said, let's use what motorsport is really good at, which is really a fast pace of innovation. Over 10 years, we have made a considerable advancement on the cars. You look at the performance of the cars now versus 10 years ago. It's pretty starkly different. And the idea is to make these cars as fast as possible, as exciting as possible, as efficient as possible. And that translates directly to road cars because all the efficiency gains we find here give us performance, but the same efficiency gains for road cars give you either performance, longer range, smaller batteries, more affordable vehicles. There's only benefits to what we are doing here. So it's a really well-aligned
We're out here having fun in the event, watching the race, but we're moving the industry forward. Okay. Jonas, let me ask you a question. So AI, and I talk about AI all the time, it's shaping and changing industries and innovating. How do you see AI, the technology, transforming sectors like transportation and energy?
Yeah, well, I think when you look at what Formula E is doing for consumer automobiles, and it's a test bed, right? I think a lot of the applications for AI in motorsport have implications for other industries as well. So for instance, we look at all of the simulations that are run in advance of a race. We look at all the data that people are capturing during the race, and how are we going to optimize performance? How are we going to optimize tracks? And that's something that AI algorithms certainly help with. Well, when you're looking at route optimization, you're looking at vehicle maintenance, proactive maintenance, and you're looking at things like that. Well, those obviously have implications for the transportation sector and the logistics sector, right? So you're looking at all these thousands of data points that are coming in before a race, during a race, and then analyzing those. What can we learn for the next one? What can we learn for this moment in time? Look at some sort of a transportation company that's managing thousands of vehicles, an entire fleet, not just one or two, but they're managing an entire fleet. Well, how can we optimize our routes so we improve our performance from a lower carbon emission standpoint, from a saving fuel, from a saving time, getting deliveries there faster? A lot of the test beds that we're using from a simulation standpoint here can relate to the logistics sector as well.
We've been gathering data for many years, and sometimes too much data. There's actually a term in the AI and data sector, obese or fat data. AI looks like it's ciphering through that data and giving us relevant points when we actually need them. So, okay, thanks, Jonas. I appreciate that. Collaboration for industries is critical in innovation. What are the most exciting opportunities do you see for cross-industry innovation and opportunities to collaborate?
Yeah, it's interesting because it's always been the case in motorsport, like trying to, by definition, get the best technology from wherever you can get it. And if you can't get it, we do it ourselves. That's the ethos in a way of motorsport. But what is interesting with Formula E and EV racing is that we are taking that to a new direction, right? We need different stakeholders, different partners, and so on. So I'll get to AI, but first, as Envision, we are a green tech company, renewable energy company, right? So there are a lot of links between a wind turbine, which is basically a powertrain running in regen, right, in reverse. So a wind turbine is like, the same. You want really high efficiency motors, gearboxes, and so on to create as much energy as possible. So you have parallels with the renewable energy world. Of course, the batteries, energy storage, all this is massive, whether it's in cars and static. And And then we talk about data, but racing has always been, to be fair, really at the forefront of data, at least modern racing. But electric racing formally takes it to the next level, simply because cars generate so much more data than any other IC engine powered cars. So what we have, two things. We have not only a lot of data, because these batteries, motors, inverters log so much data at such a high frequency, and it's so useful, as I said earlier. But also, motorsport has always been good at really well-structured data, and that's what these guys love, right? You have a lot of companies out there that have a lot of data, but modeling the AI models are sometimes quite tricky because the data is a bit of a mess, frankly. Where in a motorsport team like ours, the data, I've been told before, is beautifully structured. Like, this is what we do, right? We are a data business. To make the car go faster, we analyze data and we make changes. So our data is so well structured that it means we're going to get to a point now where the AI and IT guys are going to have a much bigger impact on the running of a race team than ever before in the history of motorsports, because by definition, we are a prime case study where we generate way too much data than we can look at by the human eye. You know, I'm limited to so many amount of people here, plus Silverstone back at base. So there's too much data we have the resource to look at. And it's really, really well-structured data, which means that it's a prime candidate for AI to come and complement what we're doing. Obviously, the race drivers, the race engineers, perfo systems, all the guys I have here, they are experts, they know what to look for, and they know what makes a car go faster. But what AI will do, I really strongly believe, is in parallel, look at this huge amount of data and pick up trends, big trends, that you don't necessarily see with the human eye. Over 10 years of racing, in these conditions, in that type of circuits, with that type of layout, we see the powertrain doing that and that and that. And that will start to be really interesting. And I believe it will happen quite quickly because the training time, in a way, will be shorter, I don't know if you agree, than in some other industries because we don't have too much cleaning up to do. So as always, we have this ethos in motorsport, especially at Envision Racing, that we never do this on our own. We work with a whole range of partners, and the more the merrier, the more we work together, the more we perform, and the better for everybody. So we've always had this culture of working with other partners and making it happen. And the renewable green tech industry is based on collaboration anyway. You see it, right? From spin-off from university, all these latest battery technologies, renewable energy, it's all coming from labs and R&D and so on that we're trying to accelerate to market.
Well, and thinking about his comment about unstructured versus structured data, motorsport is awash with structured data. And as an AI, as a data engineer, people are going to love that, right? But when you get out into the real world, the non-motorsport world, companies have data all over the place. Sure. So many vendors in their supply chain, so many different points in their value chain, their enterprise, their organization, and even the data they have. It may be a simple PDF, it may be a spreadsheet, it may be a handwritten note. And so the structured versus unstructured argument is a very real one for enterprises outside of motorsport. The beautiful thing about AI, though, is through computer vision and other algorithms, you can take that unstructured data and actually start to make sense of it. And so AI really hits on a couple of levels. One is take that unstructured data, make sense of it, get it into a structured format that then allows the enterprise to make sense of it. I mean, we're doing this for electric utilities, for instance, something as simple as a transformer digital twin. Well, they have all sorts of information about a transformer that's in a PDF. It's in a maintenance log from 5 years ago. Find a way to digitize that using AI, and then you can start to make some actionable decisions to make around that.
I come from manufacturing. It's a different vernacular, but it's the same thing. And it's that you said structured data. I call obese data. Same thing, right? A lot of people are struggling with AI, finding real life applications besides having to do your homework for you. And that sorting through data and figuring out algorithms and trends and predictive maintenance, things like that is where it really starting to shine through. I say we're starting to see the ROI on that. So we talked a little bit about the car. We talked about AI and innovation a little bit. Last question. So for the next generation, well, I wanted to get into automotive or engineers. And this question's for both of you. What advice would you give that up and coming that's just entering into the field right now?
I would say don't lose your enthusiasm. It's very easy right now to say AI is just for chatbots. AI is just for generating funny artwork or an essay. But no, there are so many very impactful use cases for AI. Don't lose your enthusiasm about it. There are so many exciting things you can do. Dream big, think big, and come up with a solution to the big challenges that you want to solve. Like, it may be in motorsport, it may be in some other industry completely, but don't be afraid to dream big. And I think all those students right now the beautiful thing about being a kid, being younger, is you're a dreamer. You think about the possible. And as you get older, you might get a little bit more jaded, and you stop thinking about the art of the possible. I would say when you're in these technical disciplines, continue to dream big and get that technical education, and you can come up with solutions that will help change the world.
Well, engineers are problem solvers and dreamers, and this was all a dream at one time, and now it's a realization.
Yeah, I would echo that. I say quite often, in our world, in our industry, it's a great time to be alive. We are in one of these pivotal moments where the pace of change and innovation is so fast, so exciting, also quite scary, because for like big industry, car manufacturers, supply chain, suppliers, it's a really complicated time to navigate, because we're in a big transition from the petrol world to the renewable energy world, from IC engines to electric. It all makes sense macro, we know where we're going, but the transition from an industrial point of view is quite, of course, very challenging, but also interesting. But also from an engineering, innovation, R&D, the possibilities are endless. People say, I go back to formally 10 years ago compared to what we are doing now. It's a completely different world, and who knows what will be in 10 years' time. So the possibilities are huge, and we can see there's a huge appetite and demand for engineering. So I can see it in England, but I know it's the same in the US and many other parts of the world. There are so many opportunities for people who have an engineering mind and want to solve problems. Whether it's car production, whether it's motorsport, whether it's R&D, aerospace, AI, there are so many opportunities. So for me, the key thing is, I say, to embrace this, educate yourself as much as possible, embrace this. And I really believe the opportunities are so great, probably greater than they've been in a long time. It's a question of being in there, being in the middle, learning, and then opportunities present themselves.
Thank you, and I relate to that, and I speak about it all the time. Innovation, I don't think innovation has ever really been at the pace it is right now. The innovation curve is almost vertical, and there's just so much opportunity. In my 40-year career, I don't think there's been as much opportunity as is now. For the young people coming in, the future looks really bright. Well, thanks for interesting and engaging discussion and your input, gentlemen. We look forward to seeing that innovative technology on the racetrack today and throughout the weekend. This is Roy Francis. Thank you.